As the celebration of Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary was ongoing, Rivers United decided to give Nigeria one of the best anniversary gifts by qualifying for the group stage of the CAF Confederation Cup. It's such a relief to know that a Nigerian team is still competing on the continental level. Hello and welcome to Sports Reel on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Bade Adeleye, and of course we're still in the mood of Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary celebration. Of course my outfit suggests that. As usual, we're at Mansa, the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, and of course on the road today we'll be talking about the just concluded National Youth Games in Assefa Delta State, which was won by the host state. And of course, we'll be talking about the return of the Nigeria Premier Football League. We saw lots of interesting results on match day one. And also we'll talk about Rivers United, who are doing so well at the moment after qualifying for the next round of the CAF Confederation Cup. We'll also take a look at Nigerian sports in the past 63 years. We'll also bring you some regulars when it comes to the show. These and many more on the program today. Once again, you're welcome. Okay, straight to business. Let's begin with the success story of Rivers United, who got the job done on Sunday by qualifying for the group phase of the CAF Confederation Cup. And of course, they gave their fans a huge scare when they were playing the game after losing 2 penalties that were given to them. And of course, the fans had to start leaving the stadium. But just very late in the game, they got the 2 goals needed, including the second one, coming in the 97th minute of that encounter to record a 2-0 win. And of course, that made sure they qualified 2-0 on aggregate for the group phase.
I think it was a difficult game, but I thank the players, for getting the victory. Alex Oyowa, he's one of the best in the team. And I wasn't surprised when he took his penalty very well.
I will say congratulations to Rivers United, and it's so beautiful to know that we still have a team on the continent. Now let's return home as the Nigeria Premier Football League finally returned last weekend, and we saw lots of interesting matches, and of course it's been streamed live. So let's quickly show you the results we got last weekend in the Nigeria Premier Football League. We'll also show you some other results in Europe, starting with the Premier League to other leagues in Europe. The results we got last weekend were just very interesting, and of course some came as shock. All right, let's let you know that the group stage of the UEFA Champions League enters match day 2 from today and of course tomorrow. So let's quickly show you the fixtures for Tuesday and Wednesday. And of course, the battle is very much on. Who is going to be the winners of the UEFA Champions League this season? Only time will tell. Let's return home now and I'll go deep into the world of women's football in Nigeria. If you know the drill, it is time for the MTN Super Falcons show. Take it away.
Hello there and welcome to a refreshed episode of the MTN Super Falcons show. My name is Osereme Ine Benebo. Now on today's episode, before we kick off things, permit all of us at MTN and the MTN Super Falcons show to wish Nigeria a happy 63rd Independence Day. Now we wish the country more love, light, wealth and prosperity. Now shifting attention to the stars of the show, which happen to be the Super Falcons, Cape Verde have been confirmed as the next opponents to face the Super Falcons in the 2024 Africa Women's Cup of Nations after walking over Sao Tome and Principe. Now we wish the Super Falcons all the very best, as we know that they would qualify and in the very end clinch the 2024 WAFCON trophy. Now, the 2023 Women's World Cup is over, but we are still reliving some special moments, and so at the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Today, we catch up with one of our very own as she relives the experience and tells us what it meant to her and some of her favorite moments from the tournament. Who is that Falcon? Well, we'll find out right after this break.
Shallow, why it's okay, make it relax like it's your by day. Anything you want, do it on. If you do, I'm no need to delay. You no need to stress yourself, eh? You got that world in your hand. Living like a baby girl for life. Make the people know. If you wanna buy your head time, easy access, now one time. Everything break at there, oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 oh yeah.
Welcome back and thank you for sticking with us on the MTN Super Falcons show. Now, just before we went on that break, we were talking about the 2023 World Cup, the experiences it brought for the players. Now, we recently caught up with our very own defender, Ashley Plumter. Now, Ashley Plumter talks to us about what the entire World Cup meant to her, the round of 16 game and playing against her birth country. And by the way, that was a phenomenal performance, Ashley Plumter. But let's hear what she has to say.
So looking back at the World Cup, I think as a team, we know from the outside looking in that people thought that we overachieved, but I think we all knew the potential that we had, and I think some of us, well, all of us, were even when we got knocked out against England, we were disappointed because we believed that we had the better game than England. So yeah, we're pleased with the way that we performed, and especially all as individuals, but when it came to putting out a performance consistently in a World Cup on the biggest stage as a team, yeah, we all feel really proud of ourselves for that. And yeah, personally as a player, yeah, I came into the tournament obviously with it being my first experience, and no, I do look back and I feel proud of the way that I was able to represent this team and the country on the world stage. I think the game against England will be one of the best and most valuable and appreciative games I think I've ever played in my football career to date. Yeah, when I stood up to line up against them and I heard the English national anthem and then I heard ours, it made me quite emotional in the sense that I felt just really grateful to be able to have, with England, I've born there, brought up there, and had good experiences with England, but I always describe it as like two different parts of my life coming together in that one moment, and it felt really special, and I just felt so appreciative to be able to be stood there in that moment. It's hard to pick just one moment that I cherish the most. Obviously, the game against England is something I will remember for the rest of my life, but it's probably the moments when we came into the stadium and how unified I felt with the group.
And that, of course, was our very own Oyibo defender, Ashley Plumter, talking to us about her experiences at the World Cup and what it meant to her to play for Nigeria. Now, in case you're not already following us across all social media platforms, this is the perfect time to do so. It's at MTN NG on Instagram and Twitter. It's MTN Nigeria on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, our very own pages, The Super Falcons Show. This is the perfect time to follow us across all social media platforms because we're all about giving and generosity on this show. So look out for our freebies. Now, this show, as we already said, is dedicated to defender Ashley Plumter. Now, in this second part of the interview, she talks to us about why she decided to play for Al Ittihad in Saudi Arabia, away from England. And she talks to us about her crush in the Super Eagles. Who is it? Let's find out.
I've always been somebody who plays football for more than just football itself. A feeling that I've never really had before. I connected with the coach straight away, and in all fairness, we didn't really talk about football that much in our first conversation. It was about the things that we value, the things that we want to do in our lives, and what are perceived. Or for me, I always say what is my perceived view of success, and I always link it back to fulfillment that I feel within myself. And I knew that making the decision to go abroad was me connecting with more of myself and being on the path that I knew I should be on, because even though I don't really have expectations, it's just about, well, where am I best fitted? Yeah, I'm not going to comment on Super Eagles crush, but in terms of player, I've always, especially when he was at Everton, when they were struggling, I always respected Alexander Iwobi's work rate. I think he's a very good player, but I think for me, being a defender and a centre-back, I actually had the same coach at Leicester as Calvin Bassey, and so the coach that I had, he was our assistant coach. He coached Calvin when he was at Leicester, and there was a couple of times when I would do clips with my coach, and he showed me a couple of clips of Calvin, and I think in some areas were kind of similar. Oshe! To all the Nigerian fans.
With unmatched coverage across Nigeria, MTN Broadband gives you reliable internet service to do whatever you want everywhere. MTN Broadband, data that's got you covered.
Ashley, your Yoruba could use a little bit of work, but you'll get there. And no crush, huh? Indeed. Anyways, that's the much we can take for today on the MTN Super Falcons Show. Remember that this show airs 9 a.m. every Tuesday on NTA, and you can also catch it on MTN's Ayoba app. My name is Osereme Inekbenebo, and I would also like to give credit to my producer, Tayo Ogunsheye, who is doing a phenomenal job of packaging this entire show. I will see you in the very next episode. It's bye for now.
Your still watching Sports Rule on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Let's now talk about the 7th National Youth Games, which ended last Saturday in Assefa, Delta State, after days of intense competition by young athletes. And of course, host state, Delta State, won the competition and were closely followed by Lagos State, and of course, Edo State finished in 3rd position, with Team Bayelsa, coming 4th. And of course, we're told that Delta State will also host the next edition of the Games after entering into a partnership with the Sports Ministry to host several editions of the Games. And of course, many athletes also talked about how the Games gave them the opportunity to showcase their God-given talents. Now, still talking about the National Youth Games, we have joining us live now an international certified gymnastics coach, Tony Asuko, who was down there in Assefa, Delta State, to give us details of how things went. Tony, if you can hear me loud and clear, welcome to Sports Road this Tuesday.
Yeah, thanks for having me, buddy. It's good to be here again.
And of course, welcome back to Abuja.
Thank you very much. Assefa was actually fun.
Okay, straight to business. I want to believe Assefa was fun for you, but let us know, how was it in Assefa, especially for the sport of gymnastics?
Yeah, indeed, for the first time, the gymnastics event was actually very good. And we went on through the level system. Like I always say, the learn to train, train to train, and train to compete. That actually showed out at the national sports, at the National Youth Games in Assefa. We discover athletes that are younger than 9 years old. We got gymnasts that are 8 years old. And then the surprising thing is that we had over 20 states that came for gymnastics for this year. And also, I want to quickly align with the Gymnastics Federation president for actually giving rooms for every other stakeholders to take part in this game. And then it actually came out fine. They did well. The Delta State, popularly known Stephanie Onusuruka, got 4 gold medals, clear, showing that she is indeed the champion. And every other gymnast that represented different states got medals also. So it was like a tiki-taka game. So as she is growing, others are coming behind. So this is how it should be in sport, so that you can have different sets of age group and different set of the national team in Nigeria.
Tony, I must confess, it's so good to, hear good stories about, the success at the Games. Now, tell us, I'm sure you must have noticed 1 or 2 things. What would you like to be improved on at the next, Games? And of course, for you after the success, how are you preparing for subsequent competitions?
Yeah, from our side, we're actually very good and waiting for any competition that will be available at any time. Now, the younger ones, they've taken over. I think that's a change. That's a very good change. And then the scoring system also, we should get a board where we can be writing scores. As soon as you announce the score, you write the score out. And then by so doing, people can actually see transparency in what we do technically.
Really, really interesting, Tony. You've spoken well. Many thanks for joining us, and of course, congratulations on the success recorded by your gymnast in Assefa during the National Youth Games. And of course, let's allow you to return to training your gymnasts, who we can see are very much busy doing their thing there. Many thanks for joining us on Sports Road this Tuesday, Tony.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, buddy.
Of course, I've been speaking with an international certified gymnastics coach in the person of Tony Asuko. All right, let's now show you this beautiful one as the FCT Algon Chairman's Cup kick-started last weekend in Abuja. Francisca Bile will be telling us about that competition.
I'm in Area 3 football pitch where Soccer Academy in pink jersey and in matching shorts have been paired in Group A alongside Amac Football Club for the official opening ceremony of the 2023 FCT Algon Chairman Cup in Abuja. Amac FC gave their all and secured the 2-0 victory over Soccer Academy FC. Immediately after the first match, Kwali Football Club on lemon jersey and Gwagwalada FC lined up for the commencement of the second match of the day. Kwali Football Club won 3-0 against Gwagwalada FC.
We feel better because it's our right to win, because we play better, so it's our right to win.
These young boys, they are talented, and by the grace of God, we are going to get best among the best.
So we want to support the organizer and encourage them to keep it up, because we in FCT, we are lagging behind and we want to compete with the world.
These football stakeholders are appealing to the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the Nigerian Sport Ministry to pay more attention to grassroots football and provide more support and development for the growth of the sport in Nigeria. In Abuja, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
Many thanks, Francisca. And now joining us live on Sports Reel this Tuesday is the coordinator of the FCT Algon Chairman's Cup, no other person than Moses Ebao. Welcome to Sports Reel, Moses.
Yeah, good morning.
It's been a long time. So interesting to have you on the show. All right, let's get to it immediately, Moses. Tell us, what brought about the idea of the FCT Algon Chairman's Cup?
Yes, the FCT Algon Chairman's Cup is yet to bringing the young people in the grassroots, most especially in the rural areas, in Abaji, Kuje, Kwali, Amak, and other the six area councils that comprises in the FCT. And we found out that because Abuja is the capital of the Federal Republic, towards the celebration of the Nigerian independence, we decided to organize this thing on behalf of the area council chairman that deem it necessary to support football development and grassroots empowerment. Because football, like you know, it must catch them young. And that is why we decided to organize this tournament between the ages of 23 years. So some of these boys in Bagi, in FCT, in other tribes in Abuja, they can participate in this.
Well said, Moses, well said. Now, I'm curious, tell us the process. What does it involve when it comes to, discovering talents at the competition and, of course, the exposure that will be given to them?
Yes, like we said, the tournament is here. As the tournament is going on, we have all the scouting officers that are monitoring these young kids from the area councils, and I believe that from when we have gathered these exceptional skills players that we have discovered in the tournament, it's our duty to expose them, to introduce them to the national league, to introduce them to national team, and also to export them to foreign clubs so that they can play their football.
Quite interesting, and of course, we saw the colorful opening ceremony and, the matches, that featured at the opening ceremony. Tell us, when does the competition end?
Yes, hopefully the tournament will last for 12 days. We started on the 29th of September. Hopefully by 10th of October, we'll be rounding up to celebrate the independence of Nigeria.
It's so beautiful, Moses, and of course, anything that will keep the youth engaged positively, we will always support it. Well done, and thank you for joining us on Sports Reel this Tuesday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, I've been speaking with Moses Ebao, the coordinator of the FCT Algon Chairman's Cup. Now, let's move on the show and talk about Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary. Our sport in Nigeria over the years has been sort of a roller coaster ride, with many agreeing that the potential of the country in sport has not been commensurate with the successes recorded. In this report, I sought to find out how many rate Nigerian sport in the past 63 years and how the nation's potentials in sport can be really harnessed for the benefit of the country and international success. Nigeria, since independence, has recorded remarkable success in many sports, especially in boxing, football, and athletics. These achievements saw the country become a household name in sports in no time, especially in Africa. Recently, the country has seen our sports stars put up record-breaking performances in athletics, football, wrestling, basketball, combat sports, and some other sports. Despite recent successes recorded in sports, there have also been so many lows.
You'll be deceived into thinking that Nigeria has done very well, because in actual fact, the nation has done very well within the African continent. And we need to celebrate and commend that. When you take it to the global level, however, you begin to see gaps. Because when you compare with Kenya, Ethiopia, Algeria, and a few other countries, Nigeria is nowhere to be seen.
Our sport in the last couple of decades has actually been on a slippery slope. And the reason this is so is because so far we've not been able to create systems to sustain the talents we've got or to create a better platform for the talents that we've got. I think Nigeria has been heavily reliant on natural talent.
Because right now we are just living on past glory where people refer to us as giant of Africa, but there's nothing to show about it. When you look at the level of our leagues, when you look at the level of competition we have in other sports, there's nothing to really write home about it.
There is no denying the fact that there is an abundance of sports talents in the country, but harnessing it has been a major issue.
There has to be a conscientious plan on the part of government to invest in grassroots development of the game, to invest in grassroots programs, and also talking about infrastructural development.
The way forward, of course, is tied to the problem, lack of system, building systems to absorb our talent.
There is the need for organizations, agencies, individuals to come to play and get involved and develop the talent to help our country to achieve her potentials. Government cannot do it. You can't live, sports is too big for you to live in the hands of politicians.
While the impact of the National Youth Games and Sports Festival cannot be overemphasized, sports enthusiasts call for more deliberate policies as Nigeria aims to be a powerhouse in sports. Of course, we're looking forward to better days in sports for Nigeria, and we cannot wait to see the country rank among the very best in the world when it comes to sports. All right, we've come to the end of the show, and I want to thank you for hanging out with us. Do not forget that you can always get unlimited sports content on NT Sports 24 on StarTimes, StarSat, and Free TV. And you can always catch the daily news at 11 in the morning and 6 in the evening. All right, the next time I'll be on the show, just like I always tell you, be yourself and always stay out of trouble. I am Bade Adeleye, and I will see you next time.